That's a huge point.
Yeah, I think that leads
turning
into
point.
the mental aspect as well,
Mm-hmm.
is because it's so easy to have the mental mind kind of like fog over or question everything, makes us doubt whether or not we're actually feeling something or experiencing it. And I love the analogy that you always use about the mind as being a kingdom.
The analogy that I use a lot with my students is, imagine that you are a kingdom. You are the embodiment of a kingdom, a heaven on earth, ideally. And there is a king or queen or masculine, feminine. You could think of this as the divine masculine, divine feminine. And they sit at the throne of your heart space. In an ideal world, we would rule from this space, which is connected through all time, through space, and knows all possibilities, probable outcomes through time and space, which makes it smart to live a heart-centered life. The mind is not capable of that consciousness.
Absolutely.
Right? But in an ideal world, they would be ruling peacefully within yourself, within balance.
Absolutely.
Balancing that masculine, feminine within yourself. There's also a night, and the night represents the mind. It is supposed to be the servant of the king and queen within us, the servant of the heart. Now, most of us need to reestablish this relationship, because if the mind does not have a job, if it's not placed in a position that it should be, it can overtake our lives. Our mind can overtake our lives, right? Rape, pillage, whatever.
So
easily make us miserable, overtake our kingdom in every way.
Absolutely.
Because we can over-identify with the minds, claiming that is who I am. You're not your thoughts. Ideally, you are supposed to use your mind. Your mind is supposed to be a tool, just like the body. It's a form of communication. It's a tool for you here in this physical form, a way for you to experience this life. The mind is for you to use to pay your bills, to drive a car, this is why I am so against ego shaming.
Yes.
Ego shaming is not necessary. It just creates more negative energy, and people are like, oh, I need to get rid of the ego. No, you don't. You need to put it in its right position.
Right.
Right. In an ideal world, that night would be serving the masculine, the divine masculine and feminine within you. And there would be structure, and they would be order within the kingdom of your life. And also I always compare the emotional aspect to the child. If the child was ruling your kingdom and it overtook your kingdom, it had no boundaries, it had no structure, it had no way to fully express itself in a safe way, safe, loving way, then that energy becomes imbalanced in our lives as well. Absolutely. So that's analogy I use a lot, because a lot of times people over-identify with their thoughts and they think, oh, I think such horrible things. That makes me a horrible person.
Right.
I have horrible thoughts, or I have scary thoughts, and it's like, no, you're not your thoughts. That'd be like me saying, okay, you see, here's my body. Here's my fingernail. I'm my fingernail. No, you're not your fingernail, Candace. You're not no, I am. I'm my fingernail.
Yeah.
No, your fingernail is a part of your whole body, your multi-dimensional self, to actually say and over-identify and say, no, I'm going through life as this fingernail.
Yes.
Is seeing things from a very small perspective.
Yeah. I think that's so powerful. I'm such a visual person that as you're speaking, I'm like playing this into my mind of like, I see this castle and this kingdom. And the first thing I think of is like, you can imagine a knight coming in and is like da-na-na-na, like gonna like slash everything. Yep. And is like heavy. And then having the right relationship, it's like da-na-na-na-na-na, like comes in with like this sword and is like an idea, like, this is a bright idea. Yeah. Like instead of like slash it, it's like, I have an idea, like the light bulb goes off. And I think that is such a powerful analogy. And it's so easy for our mind to take over. And I like to think of it, it's kind of like a tornado, right? So, say maybe you're stuck in your mental mind, and maybe you have a connection with someone or a conversation, which this would happen to me all the time before I was aware of this, is I'd have a conversation and literally the whole day I would stew on what I should have said, or a
Yes.
conversation that was going to happen is
Done
like
that.
what I need to
Yes.
say, what I should have said, I should have done this and this and this. And all of a sudden, the whole day, I'm heavy, I'm alone, I'm frustrated, I feel low. And I gave every ounce of my whole day towards my mental thoughts of what I should have said differently or what I was going to say in the conversation. It's like this tornado where we can be so easy to get swept up in the tornado that we lose sight of everything. But when we connect back into our heart center, it's like we're standing in the eye of the tornado where we can look up and see maybe my thoughts are going all around me, but they're not who I am. I am this divine connection. I'm in the eye of this tornado because the
Mhm.
world, being human, sometimes can feel like we're in this tornado. We can't control
Yes.
everything. But when we step back into that heart center and we're connected, it's like we can look up and look down and we're safe. And we
Absolutely.
can jump back in and be ripped around and
Well,
then be
and that's the
remembered.
thing is we have to come to peace. We have to come to peace with the mind because we are in the Aquarian age, which is the sign. It's an air sign. It's a very mental space at time of technology, expansion, information, integration.
Absolutely.
And so we're being bombarded and being asked to use this mind all the time. So it's just about coming into healthy balance, healthy relationship